Let's talk about something most men feel, but rarely say out loud. You're in a relationship. Everything seems fine on the surface. She's there, she talks to you, she spends time with you. But when it comes to intimacy, it's always you making the first move. You're always the one initiating, always the one leading things in that direction. And after a while it starts to mess with your head. You begin to wonder, why doesn't she ever initiate? Is she still attracted to me? Or is she just going along with it when I started? That quiet doubt slowly builds up, not loudly, but in the background. And over time, it starts affecting how you see yourself. Because when a woman never initiates, it can feel like rejection, even if she doesn't mean it that way. But here's the part most men get wrong. They assume it's just about sex. It's not. It's about desire, emotional connection, and the dynamic between you two. Because when a woman truly feels attracted, connected, and emotionally engaged, she doesn't just respond, she participates, she leans in, she shows interest, and yes, she initiates. So if she's not doing that, it's not random, and it's definitely not something you should ignore. In this video, we're going to break down exactly why this happens, what it really means beneath the surface, and most importantly, how you can shift things in a way that makes her naturally want you again. Not by forcing it, not by begging for it, but by understanding the deeper game most men never see. Attraction doesn't just disappear, it slowly fades when everything becomes predictable. And this is where most men go wrong without even realizing it. You fall into a pattern, a routine. You initiate the same way, at the same time, with the same energy, and over time she starts to expect it. There's no mystery left, no tension, no anticipation. She already knows what's going to happen before it even begins, and the moment something becomes expected, it loses its emotional impact, because attraction thrives on uncertainty and discovery, not chaos, not confusion, but that subtle feeling of I don't fully have him figured out. That feeling is what creates curiosity, and curiosity is what pulls her in. But when you become predictable, you remove that completely. You become safe, familiar, automatic. And while comfort is important in a relationship, too much comfort without excitement kills desire. So instead of leaning forward and initiating, she leans back. Not because she doesn't want you, but because there's nothing triggering that spark anymore. You've unknowingly taken on the role of the one who always shows up the same way. And people don't chase what feels guaranteed. Now, here's the shift. You don't need to try harder. You need to be less predictable. Break the pattern. Sometimes pull back. Sometimes change your tone. Sometimes don't initiate at all. Let there be moments where she feels the absence of your usual behavior. That absence creates space, and in that space her mind starts asking questions. Why didn't he do what he usually does? What's different about him right now? That curiosity brings back attention, and attention brings back attraction. Because at the end of the day, desire isn't built on repetition, it's built on emotional tension, unpredictability, and the feeling that there's still something new to experience. And the moment she starts feeling that again, she won't just wait, she'll move toward you. A lot of men think the solution is simple. If I show more desire, she'll want me more. So they initiate more, they try harder, they give more attention. But here's the problem. Not all desire feels the same. If your attention feels routine, automatic, or expected, it stops feeling special. And when something stops feeling special, it stops creating attraction. Because a woman doesn't just want to feel wanted, she wants to feel uniquely desired. There's a big difference between I want sex and I want you. If she feels like you would act the same way no matter who was in front of you, desire loses its emotional impact. It starts to feel generic, replaceable. And when desire feels replaceable, she doesn't feel the urge to initiate. She just responds when you do now. Add another layer to this. If outside the bedroom, she doesn't feel seen, appreciated, or emotionally connected, her desire naturally drops, because for her, attraction isn't just physical, it's emotional and psychological. If she doesn't feel special in your presence, she won't feel that pull toward you. So here's the shift. Stop focusing only on physical initiation, and start building emotional tension. Notice the small things about her. Call them out in a way that feels real, not forced. Tease her. Flirt with her like you did in the beginning. Make eye contact that lingers, just a little longer than usual. Create moments where she feels your attention, not as a habit, but as a choice. Because when a woman feels like you're choosing her specifically, again and again, that's when desire builds. That's when she starts thinking about you differently. And that's when she doesn't just wait for you to make a move. She starts wanting to make one herself. Asterisk, this one is hard to accept, but it's one of the most powerful shifts you can make. If you're always available, emotionally, physically, and sexually, you slowly remove the very thing that fuels attraction, tension. Think about it. If she knows you're always there, always ready, always waiting, there's no urgency, no curiosity, no reason for her to step forward. Because in her mind, you're already guaranteed. And people don't chase what feels guaranteed. Now this doesn't mean you should ignore her or start playing childish games. It means you've made her your center instead of having your own center. When your mood depends on her, when your attention is always on her, when your time revolves around her, she feels that. And instead of creating attraction, it creates pressure. Because now, you're not just a man she's with, you've become someone who needs her attention. And neediness quietly kills desire. So what's the shift? You need to rebuild your independence. Have your own life again, your own goals, your own focus. Be busy with things that actually matter to you. Not as a tactic, but as a lifestyle. Because when your energy is no longer constantly directed at her, something interesting happens. She starts noticing your absence. She starts wondering what you're focused on, what's pulling your attention away. And that curiosity pulls her back in. Now instead of you always moving toward her, she starts moving toward you. She starts initiating conversations, initiating closeness, and eventually, initiating intimacy. Because attraction grows in space, not in constant availability. And the moment she feels like she has to earn your attention again, that's when the dynamic shifts. That's when she stops sitting back and starts leaning forward. Sometimes, the reason she's not initiating has nothing to do with attraction fading. It's because the emotional connection isn't where it used to be, and this is something many men overlook. For you, intimacy might be physical first, but for her, it often starts emotionally. If she doesn't feel connected to you on that level, her desire doesn't just weaken, it shuts down quietly. The tricky part, this doesn't always show up as a big problem. There's no argument, no obvious distance. Everything seems normal on the surface, but underneath, something feels off. Maybe she feels like you're not really listening anymore. Maybe conversations have become routine and empty. Maybe she doesn't feel understood the way she used to. And when that emotional depth fades, so does her motivation to initiate anything physical. Because for her, intimacy isn't just about being close. It's about feeling safe, seen, and valued. Now, here's where things go wrong. Most men respond by trying to push more physical closeness. They initiate more. They try harder. But when emotional connection is missing, that effort feels like pressure, and pressure creates resistance. So, instead of moving closer, she pulls back. The real solution isn't doing more, it's reconnecting deeper. Start being present again. Put your phone away. Actually listen when she talks. Ask questions not just to respond, but to understand. Bring back real conversations, the kind that make her feel like she matters beyond the surface. Because when a woman feels emotionally connected, when she feels understood and appreciated, her guard drops, her energy softens, and naturally, her desire begins to return. That's when intimacy stops feeling like something expected, and starts feeling like something she wants. And when she truly wants it, she won't wait for you to initiate. She'll meet you halfway, or even come toward you first. Asterisk at the beginning. You were different. You had a certain energy, confidence, drive, presence. You were focused on improving yourself, building something, becoming something. And that's part of what attracted her to you. But over time, something changed. You got comfortable. Not in a good way, in a way where you stopped pushing yourself. You stopped challenging yourself, stopped growing, stopped bringing that sharp, masculine energy into the relationship. And slowly, without realizing it, you lost your edge. Now here's the truth most men don't want to hear. Attraction isn't maintained by comfort alone. Yes, comfort builds connection, but growth and edge maintain desire. When you become too settled, too predictable, too relaxed, yet stop triggering that emotional spark in her, you become familiar, and while familiarity feels safe, it's not exciting. So instead of feeling pulled toward you, she starts feeling neutral. And neutrality is where initiation disappears, because she's no longer feeling that pull. So what's the shift? You need to reconnect with the man you are becoming, not the version of you that got comfortable. Start improving again. Focus on your body, your mindset, your purpose. Do things that challenge you. Things that build confidence and presence, not for her approval, but because that's who you're supposed to be. Because when you start moving forward in life again, she feels that shift. Your energy changes, your presence changes, the way you carry yourself changes. And that's what reignites attraction, because a woman is naturally drawn to a man who has direction, momentum, and self-respect. And when that version of you comes back, you won't need to ask for her attention. You won't need to chase her desire. She'll feel it. And when she feels it strongly enough, she won't just respond to you. She'll start moving toward you on her own. At the end of the day, this isn't really about sex. It's about energy, attraction, and the dynamic between you and her. When a woman stops initiating, it's not random. It's not just how she is. It's a signal that something in the connection, the tension, or the emotional balance has shifted. And most men respond the wrong way. They complain, they overthink, or worse, they try harder and push more. But that only makes things worse. Because attraction doesn't grow under pressure. It grows in the right environment. And that environment is created by who you are, how you show up, and the energy you bring into the relationship. When you stop being predictable, when you rebuild your edge, when you create space and emotional connection, everything starts to change. Not instantly, but naturally. Because now she's not just reacting to you, she's feeling you again. And when a woman truly feels that pull, you don't have to ask her to initiate. You don't have to question her desire. She shows it through her attention, through her effort, through the way she moves toward you without being asked. That's when you know the dynamic has shifted. So don't chase the outcome. Don't focus on forcing her to initiate. Focus on becoming the man she naturally wants to move toward. Because when attraction is real, initiation isn't something you demand. It's something she gives freely.